Welcome to The Explainer. So, you've built something awesome, a website, an app, and now you're asking the big question. How do I actually make money from this thing with ads? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to decode the whole world of digital ad monetization and help you figure out the right path for your project. All right, let's just jump right in. This is the question, right? Every single creator, every developer hits this point. You've poured your heart and soul into building this great thing, and now you got to make it sustainable. So, we're going to walk through the entire journey, from the super simple ad setups all the way to the pro strategies that really maximize your revenue.
You know, the best way to think about ad monetization is like a big puzzle. And to solve any puzzle, first, you got to know what the pieces are. For pretty much everyone just getting started, the most important pieces, well, they all come from one place: Google's ecosystem.
So when you're just dipping your toes in the water, Google basically hands you two core tools, and they're both built for one thing: simplicity. We're talking about AdSense and AdMob. These are, hands down, the fastest way to get your very first ads up and running.
And boom, right away, you're at your first and maybe most important fork in the road. It's actually a super simple distinction. Got a website? You're going to use AdSense. Built a mobile app? That's AdMob. Easy, right? Getting this one thing right is literally step one.
Okay, let's zoom in on AdSense for a sec. If you've got a blog, a forum, any kind of website really, and your main goal is just to get something up fast that's pretty much automated, AdSense is your answer. You just tag your pages, and Google takes care of the rest: the optimization, the reporting, all of it. It's designed to be totally hands-off.
Now, for you app developers out there, AdMob is a much more specialized toolkit. It's not just about cool mobile ad formats. The really crucial piece here is something called mediation. Now, that's just a fancy word for a tool that lets you bring other ad networks into the mix to compete against Google. It helps you find the highest bidder for your ad space right inside your app.
But what happens when your project grows? What if you start signing your own ad deals directly with advertisers and you need way more control? Well, that's when you graduate to the big leagues. And we're talking about the one platform for publishers who are ready to seriously scale up: Google Ad Manager.
Now, you've probably heard this before. A lot of people think that Ad Manager is just, a premium version of AdSense, like AdSense with a few extra bells and whistles. But that's really not the whole story.
Yeah, let's just be super clear about this. That is not true. Ad Manager is not an upgrade from AdSense. It's a completely different beast. It's an entirely different product built from the ground up for a much more advanced publisher who needs a ton of power and granular control. The best way to think of Ad Manager is like your central command center. It's this one unified platform where you can manage your ad revenue from literally everywhere. We're talking direct deals you negotiated yourself, the automated ads from Google, and even other third-party networks and exchanges. Everything in one place.
So this is for the publishers who are juggling the whole shebang: websites, apps, video, you name it. You're out there making direct deals with advertisers, and you want to make all your ad networks compete against each other for your ad space to drive up the price. You need that deep, granular, nitty-gritty control. And that is exactly what Ad Manager is built to do.
Okay, now we're going to get into the real pro-level strategy. This is the stuff that has completely changed the game. See, to really get modern ad monetization, you have to understand this massive shift, the move from an old, super inefficient system to a modern, unified auction. So for years, the standard way of doing things was this system called the waterfall. Basically, your ad server would offer up an ad space to one network, then the next, all in a sequence. It kind of made sense at the time, but it was just so inefficient, and it meant publishers were constantly, consistently leaving money on the table.
And this right here just perfectly shows you the problem. It's this slow, one by one process. And here's the core issue. What if a network way down the list was actually willing to pay more? Too bad. They never even get a chance to bid against the network at the top. You're not creating a real competitive auction, so you're almost never getting the best possible price.
This is where header bidding comes in and just completely flips the model on its head. Instead of that one-by-one sequence, it creates this big, unified auction where all your partners get to bid at the exact same time. This parallel competition forces everyone to put their best price forward. And guess what that does? It naturally drives up your revenue.
And look, this isn't some theoretical problem. Check out this quote from a real publisher on Reddit. It just perfectly captures the challenge. They know what they need to do. They want to partner with other companies through open bidding, create that unified auction, but they've hit a brick wall. The option they need, It's just not there in their ad manager account.
So how do you solve that publisher's problem? What's the fix? Well, Google's answer is something called open bidding. It's their built-in solution to this whole challenge. It's a feature right inside Ad Manager that lets you invite all those third-party ad networks to compete for your inventory in one single real-time auction. So basically, it's Google's version of header bidding, baked right into the platform.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground here. From the simple set it and forget it stuff all the way to these complex unified auctions. So with all these different options on the table, how in the world do you figure out which path is the right one for you?
You know, this table really just boils it all down perfectly. Just look at the rows. Are you only on the web? AdSense is your simple starting point. Only got an app? AdMob's your tool. But, and this is the key, look at the rows for negotiate direct deals and use other ad networks. The second you need to do either of those things, you've got to be on Ad Manager. It is the only tool that checks all the boxes for a serious scaled-up publisher.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. The path from AdSense to Ad Manager, from that old waterfall system to open bidding. It's a journey. It's a journey from simple automation to powerful, granular control. And every step you take on that journey gives you more power to capture the true value of the audience you've worked so incredibly hard to build. So the final question isn't just, are you leaving money on the table? The real question is, do you even have the right tools to see how much you're leaving behind?